Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on, family? This is your boy Reg. Welcome to another edition of 100 Yards and Running, week 4/week 5. A lot of things happened in week 4 that we have to talk about. Before we get to week number 5, we had a lot of injuries this week. And I say this every week that I do this. I wish injury on nobody, but it's come with the territory. It comes with the National Football League. Let's get started on Thursday's game. Not last night, this Thursday, but I'm going to get to last night's game. Thursday, the Seahawks play host to the Cardinals. Now, we spoke about this game last week. The Seahawks is battling for first place in their division. The Cardinals was not too far behind them. This week, the Seahawks got the better of the Cardinals. The Cardinals' defense was not great. They waited to the last minute to get into play. Sam Darnold being Sam Darnold, what he did last year at Minnesota, leading the Vikings to a playoff and leading them to a possibly championship game in the NFC. Unfortunately, things didn't happen for the Vikings that way. But now here we go. Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks getting the victory in Arizona, beating the Cardinals by 3 points, a field goal, by a score of 23-20, improving Seattle to 4-1. Now, this division, the NFC West, is so crazy and it's so wide open. You got Bucks, you got Seattle, you got San Francisco, who's red hot, that we will talk about because last night's game was a game to watch. And we got the Rams all battling for the NFC West. You got 4 teams. Now, my question to my viewers who will be viewing this, who was y'all pick to win the NFC West? And right now, it is looking like it's a race between Seattle and San Francisco. But Seattle getting the best of the Cardinals, beating them by a score of 23-20, improving Seattle to 4-1. Now, Sunday, we had an early game in Dubois and Dublin, Ireland, where we had Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers going against Carson Wentz because J.J. McCarthy is out with an injury. So you have backup Carson Wentz leading the Vikings to Dublin to take on Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, this was another close game. Steelers came out red hot. Aaron Rodgers got DK Metcalf over there. And them two, they picked the chemistry up early. My thing with the Steelers is their secondary. And they worked on that in the offseason, bringing in Jalen Ramsey, trading him for Mika Fitzpatrick. Now Mika Fitzpatrick is over there in Miami, and we got Jalen Ramsey in Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh's defense stood out and did what they supposed to do, winning. And this was another close game by a score of 24-21. Aaron Rodgers looking like Aaron Rodgers of the old, but can he keep carrying that momentum into next week? We will see next week. Now, here's a shock, and I got to give credit where credit is due. Giants fans, you finally listened when I said sit Russell down. His time to cook is over. You got Jackson Dart, the rookie from Ole Miss, who has an arm and can use his legs. And that's exactly what Jackson Dart did. They played the unbeaten Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers. And folks, I'm loving what I see in New York right now in Jackson Dart. Unfortunately, sad Giants fan, and this hurt my soul too, because I like Malik Nabers. Malik Nabers in that game was diagnosed with a torn ACL. His season for the Giants, and this sucks to be a Giant fan because you got a good receiver in Malik Nabers who can carry your team into a possible playoff run. But Jackson Dart gets credit for me this week, going in there, playing like a veteran. He's listening to the coach. He's listening to the guys in the back. He's listening, and he took his time. And the New York Football Giants, ladies and gentlemen, getting their first win of the season, beating The unbeaten Chargers, you heard me correctly. The New York Giants beat the LA Chargers by a score of 21-18. I am excited what to see in the here from here on out, coming from the Giants fans. Now, next week, the Giants have a game. This week coming up, the Giants host the New Orleans Saints. Now, if Jackson Dart continues to do what he did against the Chargers, and he do that to the Saints at home, I see the Giants winning 2 in a row. And that's a good step in a good direction for the New York Giant fans. Now, another game that we had, and this to me right here was America's Game of the Week. We had Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs have something to prove after their victory over the Giants in week 3. Now going into week 4, they played Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens at home in Arrowhead. Kansas City being the juggernaut are at home, getting the job done, beating the Ravens. They didn't just beat them. They showed the Ravens' weakness in this game. Derrick Henry was dropping the ball. Lamar Jackson sitting there holding a hamstring and got hurt. And breaking news, I was talking about injuries earlier. Lamar Jackson will not play in this week's game coming this week. Lamar Jackson is out with a hamstring injury. There's a lot of injuries, ladies and gentlemen, that we have to talk about. So Lamar being one of them being out, I don't see where the Ravens go from here without Lamar Jackson holding down the fort in Baltimore. So now y'all improve yourself to 1-3. Kansas City is 2-2. They moving in the right direction. They got the Jags coming up this Monday on Monday Night Football, and I can't wait to see that game. This team, now I said last week, there was a lot of 0-3 teams coming into week 4, going into week 5. And the Houston Texans and the Tennessee Titans were one of that team. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 teams that is 0-4 for the first time in the National Football League history. And I don't see any of these teams making the playoffs. You got the New York Jets, who play Dallas coming up Sunday, and you got the Tennessee Titans. Both of these teams is 0-4. And something has to give with the coaching staff and these teams moving forward into the playoffs. But Houston, playing at home, doing what they needed to do. They blew out the Titans by a score of 26-0. The Titans couldn't even get a first down. They couldn't score at all. They couldn't even get a field goal. Houston, y'all did what y'all supposed to do at home and got the victory. 26-0 is the first blowout in this week that we had. Moving on, the Falcons, the Atlanta Falcons, are shocking me right now. And Atlanta, you should pat yourself in the back because your running back, Bijan Robinson, is finally playing to his potential. It sucks to say that y'all still got Kirk Cousins on your team, but y'all played Marcus Mariota and the Washington Commanders. Now, if Jaden Daniels is able to be cleared to play next week, Washington is going to be a problem. But until now, the Falcons doing what they're supposed to do at home. Bijan Robinson running for over 200 yards. Kirk Cousins, for the first time in his career, he actually did something right and not turn the ball over. And the Falcons beat the Commanders by a score of 34-27. Y'all should clap yourselves in the back for that one. You should have started Michael Penix Jr., but I get it. Kirk Cousins is a vet in this league, and you wanted to win, and you did the job, and you got the job done. Moving on, and these Saints fans, and next week is going to be sad for y'all Saints because y'all play the Giants. But this week, you played the Buffalo Bills. You played Josh Allen, the reigning MVP, at home, and got creamed. Yes, you heard me, and I'm going for Josh Allen this year to run back the MVP candidate because right now, the way Josh Allen is playing, he's playing like he's in a mission. He's on a mission to get to the Super Bowl because every year the Buffalo Bills get close and Kansas City knocks them right down. Can this be the year that the Buffalo Bills knock off Kansas City? That could be something to see. But Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills at home doing what they do best, running the ball. Josh Allen playing like the MVP that he is. He getting Shakir and those boys and Kincaid. He making them boys look like superstars in Buffalo. Buffalo getting the job done, beating the Saints by a score of 31-19. Like I said, Josh Allen, my pick for MVP candidate. You know who can run behind him? The reigning Super Bowl MVP, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles, who this Thursday night, and this is going to be a tough one, Giants fans. This Thursday night, you got Philadelphia going to New York, going to MetLife Stadium to play host to the New York Giants on Thursday Night Football. But this ain't Thursday night. We're going to talk about that. But the Eagles playing host to Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, Baker Mayfield last year, well, it should have been to me, and they gave it to Geno Smith. Well-deserved. But Baker Mayfield should be most improved quarterback of the year. He has not one, not two, not three, 6 game-winning drives when their team is down by 6 or more points. And that's just not me making it up. These are all facts. But the Eagles and the Eagles defense was too much for these Buccaneers. The Bucs had a chance to win this game at the last second. And this is the second time I've seen the Eagles do this, ladies and gentlemen. The last second, they blocked the field goal, picked up by the defense, runs it all the way back to the end zone for a touchdown. The Eagles shocking the Buccaneers at home, moving to 4-0. Just like Buffalo, moving to 4-0, beating the Buccaneers by a score of 31-25. Now, like I said, a lot of injuries this year. Bucky Irvin, the running back for the Tampa Bay Bucks, he's out for 2 to 6 weeks with a toe injury. Just like J.J. McCarthy, he's out 2 to 4 weeks with a toe injury. We have a lot of injuries to discuss. And like I said earlier in the show, I wish these injuries on nobody, but it comes with the territory when you play football, period, especially in the National Football League. Eagles getting the job done, moving to 4-0. Tampa moving to 3-2. Hopefully they can bounce back next week in week number 5. The Lions, red hot Lions, got it together after they beat who they were supposed to beat. You played host to the Cleveland Browns at home. Jared Goff was running the ball. St. Brown was doing St. Brown things. Jahmyr Gibbs, another running back that y'all have to look out for other than Kenneth Walker, Saquon Barkley, and more, and others. But right there, these guys and Jahmyr Gibbs running the ball, Jared Goff getting the ball down the field. The Browns only could put up 10 points. The Lions at home defeating the Cleveland Browns, because it's Cleveland, by a score of 34-10. If I'm the Cleveland Browns, I'm doing what the Giants did. I don't care if y'all got Dylan Gabriel, y'all benched Joe Flacco, and you got Shedeur Sanders. I would start Shedeur Sanders. Not saying Dylan Gabriel can't get the job done, but this was his shot. He couldn't get it done against Detroit. Start Shedeur Sanders next week if y'all want to win football games. Give the kid a chance. Look at what the Giants did with Jackson Dart. And he went out there and got them their first win of the season. Lions getting the job done. Panthers, Pats. You got Bryce Young and the Panthers against Drake May and the New England Patriots. They got Gonzalez back from injury, back in the defensive end, and their offense was looking like a well-oiled offense. Drake May was doing Drake May things. They also got Stephon Diggs over there. So the Patriots getting the job done, doing what they're supposed to do at home, and this is another blowout, blowing out the Panthers by a score of 42-13. That's sad, ladies and gentlemen. The Patriots at home did what they're supposed to do, and they got the job done. Moving on to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who play host to the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the 49ers, I know that y'all missing Brock Purdy. He played this game, but it wasn't enough. He went back down with an injury, and the Jaguars got the best of y'all, beating y'all at home by a score of 26-21. Now, you got Christian McCaffrey back. You're missing George Kittle. You're missing Jawan Jennings. You're missing guys, key pieces on the offensive end. But we're going to talk about those same 49ers because they played last night. Moving on to another team that they played last night, the Indianapolis Colts. They were red hot. Daniel Jones leaves the Giants. He goes to the Colts. Now he's Baker Mayfield 2.0. Where was this in New York, Daniel? I'm going to keep saying that. You got a couple of decent runs and good touchdowns, but where was all of this energy in New York? You played host to Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, and the LA Rams. Y'all kept it close, but in the end, the Rams and that offense getting the job done, beating the Colts, giving the Colts their second loss, their first or second loss, I'm not sure. I'm going to check that later on in the show. But the Rams getting the job done, getting the W, leading to last night's game. Now, this game was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Sunday night, we had Geno Smith and the Las Vegas Raiders playing in Vegas, hosting Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. Now, the Raiders drafted Ashton Jeanty, another running back. A lot of good running backs got drafted this year. And Ashton Jeanty, with Pete Carroll and Geno Smith and that defense with Max Crosby over there, the Raiders can do something. But my problem with the Raiders is Geno Smith. Geno, you learned this in Seattle. You go to Pete Carroll, the same coach that you had in Seattle, and he told you to take your time with your feet. Geno Smith and the Raiders tried, but at the last second, Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams throwing the ball, leading his team to a field goal. And the kick was good, and the Raiders' hearts were broken because the Bears, that's right, the Bears came to the Las Vegas house and their territory, and they beat Geno Smith and the Las Vegas Raiders by a score of 25-24. This was a close game. Like I said, it could have been anybody's game, back and forth. Sunday night, Micah Parsons, Green Bay, Dak Prescott, Dallas. Micah returns home. He's excited. Jerry Jones is talking a lot of trash about trading Micah Parsons. Oh, Micah was not good enough to be on our team. We wanted younger players. To me, you let go of your best defensive player. And now the Cowboys on defense is trying to discover who they are. What can you do on defense? Your Cowboys defense is not the same anymore. And this game went back and forth. This was a game to watch. Unfortunately, for the first time, this season in the National Football League, we got our first tie, ladies and gentlemen. This game ended in a draw. Last second, Dallas had a chance to win the game. Who stops Dak Prescott? The person that Jerry Jones just let go into the sunset, ladies and gentlemen. Micah Parsons saving Green Bay. This game ended in a 40-40 tie. Our first tie in the National Football League this year. Folks, this game was crazy. I thought Green Bay had it. Dallas's running backs was proving that they could run the ball down the field. They could get the job done, and that's exactly what they did. They didn't come out with the win, but both teams left with a draw. Nobody came with a loss. The next time these two teams play, get your popcorn ready because you are in for a long show. I love what I saw on Sunday night where Micah Parsons and Green Bay went in there and did what they supposed to do. They stopped the Cowboys from beating them, and now we ended in a tie. Monday night, and I want to talk about this man. Shout out to the cheetah, Tyreek Hill. Nasty injury on the sideline. Monday night, the Jets hosted the Miami Dolphins in Miami. Now, both of these teams needed a win. Both of these teams were winless going to this game. There's a lot of pressure on both coaches, if you ask me. But the Jets getting Justin Fields back. And like I said, unfortunately, we have to talk about this injury. But before I talk about this injury, the Dolphins and Jets always give the best games. But the Dolphins was the better team. The Jets waited too long and too late to make this game interesting, moving themselves to 0-4 on the season. The Dolphins beating the New York Jets by a score of 27-21. Now, in this game, we all know that the Cheetah is one of the fastest wide receivers in the game. That's why they call him the Cheetah. Tyreek Hill is a problem. He's one of the fastest wide receivers that I've ever seen play this game. And the way that he landed, twisting his knee, you could see the man's knee twist when he landed on the turf. He had to get carted off the field. I heard he had a successful surgery. An injury like that where you twist your whole kneecap out of place and you could barely walk on that, that shows grit and it shows skill. And I'm wishing the Cheetah right now a speedy recovery because he's one of my favorite wide receivers in the NFL. No shot taken to Justin Jefferson and Devontae Adams because I love them too. But Tyreek Hill, I wish you a speedy recovery, my brother. I really do. And you heard that here on 100 Yards and Running, presented by the Family Meeting Podcast. I wish no injury on nobody. The way that his knee twisted, he had a successful recovery. I don't know the timeline of when he might return, but this is why kids out there that wants to play national football, who wants to play football, period. Football is a very dangerous sport. Don't let it take the fun out of you. You will get hurt playing this game, but enjoy it at the same time because it is a fun sport. Moving on to Monday night. It was two games Monday night. You had Bo Nix, Sean Payton, and the Denver Broncos playing host to the Joe Burrow-less Cincinnati Bengals. And this game, another blowout, ladies and gentlemen. Another one. Because without Joe Burrow, and you got Jamar Chase arguing with his coach, you got T. Higgins slamming his helmet on the other side of the court, It's not looking good in Cincinnati at all right now without Joe Burrow. And I do not see the Bengals making the playoffs at all without Joe Burrow. But Denver, doing what they're supposed to do at home, blowing out the Bengals on Monday night by a score of 28-3. That's all the Bengals could put up. And I'm sorry to my Bengals fans. This is the year that you need to draft a quarterback. Joe Burrow is a great quarterback to have, but he's injury prone. This is his second season on coming back from an injury and coming back, getting injured again. Bengals fans, if you're listening to me, work on your offensive line and work on your quarterback. Because to me, the way that they're doing Joe Burrow in Cincinnati is unfair to him. He can only do but so much. You led your team to one Super Bowl. Unfortunately, the Rams were better than you in that Super Bowl. And ever since then, Joe Burrow has not been the same. So I wish Joe Burrow a speedy recovery. Last night was a game to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a battle. And the winner for this game takes first place, sole in the NFC West. Now, two teams I spoke about earlier. We got the 49ers, the Brock Purdy-less 49ers, with the secondary quarterback, Jones. The receivers is hurt. Christian McCaffrey was Christian McCaffrey. Playing host in LA against Matthew Stafford and the Rams. This game, like I said, they were battling. It could have been anybody's game last night. But I'm giving credit what credit is due. And my boy, he knows who I'm talking to. Shout out to my boy. Was right about this one. I can admit when I'm wrong. And you heard it from me first. My lovely wife was even right about this game. The San Francisco 49ers, being the football team that they are, the Rams, being the football team that they are, San Francisco defense, Fred Warner, and those guys, this game goes into overtime, tied at 20. It could have been anybody's game, and I'm giving credit to the Rams for battling back because y'all was down 17-7 at the half. And I was sitting there discussing with my boys last night, even my beautiful wife back there, and she even said it herself. These two teams are second half football teams. And we seen that last night. The Rams coming back from 17-7 to tie the game at 20. Going to overtime, 49ers get the ball first. The Rams was all over Mac Jones. I felt bad for Mac Jones last night because he took a beating last night. But he also went out there and got the job done. Since Brock Purdy been hurt, and you got to give Mac Jones credit where credit is due. He's 3-0. Mac Jones is 3-0 with the 49ers. Unfortunately for the Rams, and this is going to bite them in the behind, trying to run the ball against that 49er defense. At the last second, the Rams tried to rush for the football to run for the first down to extend the game after Mac Jones led his team to a field goal. Now, we know the rules of overtime, and I'm going to explain the rule to you for those who don't. This is something new that they're trying in the National Football League. Each team has a chance to possess the ball. The first team that scores a touchdown in overtime, the game is over. But both teams are allowed to possess the ball in overtime, whether you kick a field goal or not. If the other team kicks the field goal and successfully get the job done, the game continues until a team scores a touchdown, the game over. But the Rams, shocking the world last night. Not the Rams, the 49ers, shocking the world last night. Stopping the run. Ending the game by a score of 23-20 in favor of San Francisco. So now the 49ers with Mac Jones, they are 4-1, and they are in first place of the AFC West. Who would have thought that the San Francisco 49ers, no Brock Purdy, no George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey saved y'all last night because he was running through the Rams defense like he was Saquon Barkley. If y'all cannot stop Christian McCaffrey, whoever plays San Francisco next week got a problem. Because what he did to the Rams last night in LA, come on, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. But that was our Week 4 recap. Week 5. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget we have our early morning game leading to Week 5 in London. You got Minnesota Vikings after losing in Dublin to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to shift their way to London to take on what should be Shedeur Sanders, but it's not. It's Dylan Gabriel, Myles Garrett, and the Cleveland Browns this Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. on the NFL Network, leading to Week 5 and Week 6. We got Giants Saints, Eagles Broncos, Jets Cowboys, Dolphins Panthers, and so on and so on. Sunday night, you got Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills playing host to Drake May and the New England Patriots. Monday night on ABC and ESPN, we have Pat Mahomes and the 2-2 Kansas City Chiefs going to Jacksonville to take on Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. They got Travis Etienne. They got Travis Hunter over there, who's a stud on both offense and defense. These games could be very interesting. Folks, this was our recap of Week 4 going to Week 5 in the NFL. Join me next week as I cover these injuries and give y'all the recap on what's going on in Week 5, going to Week 6. Don't forget, we have an early morning game Sunday morning. You got the Vikings and the Browns, and you got the Giants trying to make it 2 in a row against the winless Saints. Let's see what happens. I'm your boy, Reg. I want to thank my viewers for watching. I want to thank my future viewers who will see this. And like I said, I wish no injury on anybody, but shout out to the Cheetah, speedy recovery, because that knee injury was so bad. I don't think he would ever play again, but breaking news, he's walking. He's walking to the Dolphins facility after surgery. So we could see Tyreek Hill back. Let's say, I'm going to say week 11. Because he's got to go through a lot of rehab with tearing that knee into place. He could have tore his ACL, but thank God he didn't. He's walking. He's talking to his team. So that's a blessing right there. Folks, this was this week's edition of 100 Yards and Running. Join me next week, Thursday night, same time as today, as we talk about Thursday night's game. Giants, Eagles. Who y'all got Thursday night? Can the Giants pull it off and shock the Eagles and give the Eagles their first loss? Or is the Philadelphia Eagles, as I see them doing, going to go back to the Super Bowl? Giants fans, I like what I see in Jackson Dart. Let's keep it up. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Tune in next week. This is your boy Reggie. We out. Peace and love. I'll see y'all next week.